Hello everyone. Welcome back to our course on accountancy research. And this is video lecture number 4. So for this session, we will be talking about the different types of accounting research. So you see, the work of accountants or CPAs entails research. For example, one type of research is audit. Yes, when we are auditing the financial statements of a particular company, there are so many questions we need to answer. For example, is the balance of cash account as stated in the books correct? We need to do a cash count. What about the accounts receivable balance? Is it correct? We need to conduct aging of accounts receivable, and then we have to do also a confirmation of accounts receivable. So these are what you call substantive tests. So we can also observe, we can also do a survey, or we can also do a confirmation, or we can do observation also, and interviews. So these are examples of methodologies that we have to entail to conduct an audit. And this is full of research methods. So what are the different types of audit? There's what you call a financial audit, when the subject of the audit is the financial statements itself. I will be sending you an accompanying lecture notes that you can read. That's chapter 1 of the book that I've written, okay? Another type of audit is what you call a quality audit, okay? So a quality audit, sometimes it's also called a management review. For example, if you had a balanced scorecard or ISO audit, those are examples of quality audit. So we want to try to find out the processes, if they're being followed, okay? Is the management compliant with its own policies and rules and standards? That's what you mean by quality audit. Then there's what you call a fraud audit. The objective of fraud audit is not to determine the fairness of the financial statements. It is simply to detect fraud. Okay, it's designed to detect fraud and analyze it, and hopefully make recommendations on how to prevent fraud. Another type of audit is operations audit. When you look at the processes, the different functions of an organization, so you want to do an operations audit. And then you want to check also if the policies are being followed. Okay? Remember, companies have set of manuals. Okay? Another type of audit is tax audit. You want to find out if the company has declared correctly its tax liabilities, and has it paid its tax liabilities on time? Is it compliant with BIR requirements? So that's tax audit. Another type of accounting research is business research. Yeah, this is a little bit broader because you're not only tackling about finance and accounting, but you also look at the other functions of management like marketing, human resources, and operations. Examples of business research would be feasibility study. That is when you want to prove if a particular business proposition or proposal will work or not. Okay? For example, gusto mo magtayo ng isang tindahan o gusto mo magtayo ng isang factory, you will have to do a feasibility study and find out if it's going to work or not. Kikita ba siya o hindi? Especially during this pandemic, mahirap magbitiw ng pera para sa negosyo. Another type of business research is business planning or a business plan. So companies nowadays produce business plans. Pero another variation of business plan is the business continuity plan. You do that during a pandemic. Okay? And then market research and market planning. So when you talk about market research and market planning, you want to find out if there is a market for the products that you want to release, okay, and sell. Or you want to find out how big is the demand or the unsatisfied market. You have to look also at the competition. So everything about marketing function. Then there's what you call a human resources planning or an HR plan. So you want to look at how many people would you like to hire, what salaries will you give them, how much is your total payroll. So are you going to operate at a profit or at a loss at that particular level of manpower? So essentially that is an HR plan. And then there's what you call a production and operations plan. You want to look at your factory if you are a manufacturing concern, or your store if you're a merchandising concern. So you want to find out if how will you make money, no? And then how will you allocate resources to your operations or to your production? Okay, because that has implications on procurement as well as stocking of your raw materials and hiring people in advance and training them. Okay, that is production and operations management. So let's look at specific case studies here. The Pasay City Public Market Cooperative, comprised of 400 plus market stall owners, vendors, and micro-entrepreneurs, is subject to financial audit annually. Yes, itong mga may pwesto sa palengke, madami yan. Sa isang palengke siguro, mga 300, 400 na pwesto. Lahat yung mga pwesto na yan, mga maliliit na negosyo yan. Those are all micro-entrepreneurs because they do not have a capitalization larger than 3 million. So they're required to submit financial statements. They're required to be audited by the Cooperative Development Authority para ma-renew nila yung license nila as a cooperative. So, kailangan mag-submit sila ng audited financial statements. At ito isasubmit sa CDA at saka sa BIR. The problem is, wala naman silang bookkeeping system. They don't know accounting. Mga tindera lang sa palengke yan. Marami sa kanila hindi nakapag-aral. At saka wala silang accounting records. So, paano natin i-construct ang kanilang financial statements? Kailangan ang isang accountant ay magaling sa tinatawag natin na constructive accounting. So, you will construct the financial statements from scratch using the information that you will derive from there. Kasi mga tindera, may mga notebook yan eh. Sinusulat nila yung mga magkano yung kinita, magkano yung perang nakolekta nila sa isang araw, magkano yung nilabas na pera, tapos gaano kadami yung isda o gulay o karne na kanilang binili sa kanilang supplier, etc. etc. So, all of this information will be helpful. So, it will help you construct the financial statements. Kung 400 yan, kailangan mo ng 10 auditors or bookkeepers, no, to construct the financial statements of 400 micro-enterprises. That is the entire cooperative. Kaya kung may hawak kang kliyenteng ganyan, wow, that's good. Kasi bawat isa sa nila magbabayad, no, ng bookkeeping fee, for example, sa accountant. So, hindi ka mawawalan ng trabaho whole year round kasi monthly ka gagawa ng libro. Okay? Another case is the case of Alegre Resort in Sogod, Cebu. They contracted the services of a team of consultants to conduct a special fraud audit to determine the extent of irregularities in the operations of the luxury resort. This was a necessary step to justify the decision of the board of directors based in Hong Kong, yung mga owners pala nasa Hong Kong, to take drastic measures such as closure of the property, major renovation, and expansion into a premier tourism complex to accommodate 3 hotel brands. Isasara yung hotel, yung resort, Alegre, pero pag nag-reopen sila after 2 years, after the renovation, 3 hotels na yung nakatayo doon, hindi lang isa. So, that could be a very good proposition. So, basically, sila ay gagawa ng isang research kung tama ba yung kanilang magiging decision. Okay? Now, another case is the case of a CPA who is also a housewife. Her name is Isa Uwanang Joseph. She was my former student, a Marikina-based entrepreneur who put up her small restaurant in the city in 2020. And it was offering Filipino comfort food. She devised a basic feasibility study and with a 7 million capital outlay, she was able to buy the property, build the restaurant, and earmark the remainder for working capital. Barely a year old, Mona Lisa's Kitchen, that's her Mona Lisa Kitchen Sale, no? That's the name of the restaurant, rose steadily with each month and is now beyond break-even. So nabawi na niya yung puhunan niya. So basically, ano ba yung ating fini-feature dito na dish sa kanilang menu? There's fresh lumpia, which is my favorite, and kare-kare with bagoong, of course. So makikita natin na gumawa pala siya ng feasibility study bago niya itinayo ang kanyang maliit na restaurant. Importante yan, okay? Then there's the case of the management team of Bellevue Hotels and Resorts. They conducted an annual business planning workshop to identify the strategies and programs to be implemented across their two brands. Dalawa kasi yung brand nila, yung 5-star brand, Bellevue Hotel and Resorts, at saka B Hotel, which is a 3-star brand in Quezon City, in Alabang and Muntinlupa. So overall, they have 5 hotels. Dalawang 5-star at saka tatlong 3-star. Each general manager of each of those hotels and his team were made accountable for the results of operations and execution of their respective business plans. So taon-taon gumagawa sila ng business plan yung 5 yan. Tapos at the end of the year, they will measure kung were you able to achieve your targets or not. Okay? Doon din nakasalalay ang bonus ng mga managers. So they really have to do a good job. Okay? Other types of accounting research would be technical research. Examples of technical research would be computerization planning, project planning, tax planning, and industry research. You can read up the definition of each of this, but technical research is the type of research that requires specialized skills. Experts dapat ang gumagawa niyan. Okay? Now, another type of research would be sustainability and integrated planning. Okay? So, example nito would be master planning. Ang master planning, ginagawa yan para sa isang syudad, para sa isang industry, o para sa isang bansa. So it has several components. For example, yung Department of Tourism, sila ay gumawa ng a 5-year development plan. So a development plan is an example of a master plan. So ano mangyayari in the next 5 years? So tuwing nagpapalit tayo ng presidente sa Pilipinas, lahat ng departments, no, DepEd, Department of Labor, Department of Tourism, Department of National Defense, DSWD, all the departments have to do a 5-year development plan unique to that administration. So nung panahon ni Gloria Arroyo, meron yan. Panahon ni Ramos, panahon ni Pinoy, at ngayon sa panahon ni Duterte. So lahat ng mga presidente, pinapagawa nila ang kanilang mga cabinets ng master plan. Okay? Now, environmental impact assessment, that's another type of sustainability and integrated planning report, and green accounting. Okay, that's an example of accounting research also. So, something to do with taking care of the environment. Okay? So, basahin ninyo yung notes na bibigay ko sa inyo tungkol sa mga iba't ibang klase ng accounting research. Here's another case of a company, an agri-company in Mindoro. Okay? Agritectura Enterprises, a multi-awarded facility in Mindoro Oriental, accredited by the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BIFAR, owned and operated by architect Francis Neil Quijano. This is a product of a technical research paper kasi it's about aquatic resources. So very, very specialized siya. Tapos pinagsama pa niya yung skill niya sa architecture, so there's a beautiful design in the farm, and agriculture. So this is really social entrepreneurship because he provides livelihood to the rural folks of Mindoro Oriental in Calapan, and he also is taking good care of the environment. Okay, so all his practices there are green practices or environment-friendly practices. Okay? As provided for, another case, no? As provided for by Republic Act 9593 or the Tourism Act of 2009, the National Tourism Development Plan for 2016 to 2022 is an evolution from its predecessor covering the period 2011 to 2016. Efforts have been undertaken to consolidate the gains already made and adopt a more strategic and innovative approach in exploring new opportunities to pursue inclusive growth, which will be done by expanding community participation across the full range of facilities and services planned in the tourism circuits and development areas. So, ito yung Tourism Act, no? Ito yung nire-require na dapat gumagawa ng 5-year development plan ang bawat Secretary of Tourism. So itong si Berna Puyat ay pinagawa ng 5-year development plan 2016 to 2022. That's the time of Duterte. At ito nga ang nilalaman ng kanilang mga projects. Inabutan na sila ng COVID. Okay? So this master plan projects international and domestic tourist arrivals. So meron silang mga projections, ilang turista ang darating. Obviously, because of the pandemic, they are not able to hit their targets for 2020 and 2021. And most likely, by 2022, hindi rin nila mamimit kasi hindi ko alam kung makakabalik pa tayo sa normal. Flights may not be available yet by that time. Okay, so pinipredict din niya yung operating at capital expenditure budget. Okay, magkano ang gagastusin? Okay, ng DOT sa kanyang mga programa at proyekto. Okay? Now, here's another case. In 2004, a disaster took place in Surigao del Norte. This was caused by one of the largest and longest standing mining corporations in the Philippines, the Manila Mining Corporation. 3 disastrous incidents occurred where approximately 5 million cubic meters of waste materials containing high levels of mercury were released, damaging local people's agriculture, lands, and temporarily poisoning the adjacent Placer River. So, alam nyo naman yung mining, very, very bad for the environment yan. So, nalason yung tubig, okay? Maaring may mga namatay, na-contaminate, yung mga pananim nila nasira, okay? So, this is an example of a project that is ill-researched. Hindi siya na-research maigi. Kaya ganyan nagkaroon ng disaster, okay? At yan ay pwedeng maparusahan sa batas because we have plenty of environmental laws. Okay? Another type of accounting research is policy research. Okay? Pag sinabing policy research, at the end of the day, kailangan makagawa ka ng batas o makagawa ka ng mga patakaran para sa kumpanya. Examples of policy research would be legal research and development of company manuals. Maraming klase ng company manuals, ha? Meron tayong tinatawag na Operations Manual, Marketing Manual, HR Manual, at Finance and Accounting Manual. And then lastly, meron tayong tinatawag na Action Research. Kaya pag may problema tayo sa company, gagawa tayo ng Action Research. Halimbawa, yung payroll natin, yung payroll ginagawa manually. Gusto nating i-computerize. Yan, gagawa ka ng Action Research. Kasi gusto mong malaman ano bang pinakamagandang software na gagamitin to computerize the payroll of the company. Saan tayo makakatipid at saan magiging on time ang ating payroll reports. Computerize ka, pero baka mamaya delayed naman ang sweldo ng mga tao. Okay? So you need to have a win-win situation here. Now, here is the exercise I want you to perform. I want you to identify what type of accountancy research and application. Okay? From the following various anecdotes, identify the type of accountancy research and application. The first 2 items, I will answer them, so you have a pattern. For number 1, the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology would like to modernize the prison facilities and convert using the fully automated system. Okay, that is the problem, no? So I want you to find out what could be the type of research suitable for this kind of problem or situation, and what is the application. The correct answer is it's a type of computerization planning research. Application, automation. Let's look at number 2. The school sitting on top of a fault line is contemplating on relocating the campus to a safer location and calculating the cost of such move. Kasi yung isang eskwelahan, nasa ibabaw siya ng earthquake fault line. Delikado yun. Pwedeng mamatay lahat ng mga bata. Okay? So, ililipat nila yung campus sa ibang lugar. Magkano ang gagastusin sa pag-demolish ng old school at pag-construct ng bagong campus sa isang safer place. So what type of research is this? This is an environmental impact assessment study. Now, what type of application? Risk assessment. Okay? So try to do the next 2. First one is a construction company is seriously considering hedging by stocking imported steel during months when the foreign exchange rates are favorable and prices are better. So alam niyo naman sa construction, gumagamit sila ng mga bakal. So ang ginawa nila, bibili daw sila ng maraming bakal kapag mura ang presyo at saka mababa ang palitan ng peso to dollar. Kasi mas marami silang mabibili. What type of research is this and what is the application? The last one, the 4th one, SM is proposing to plant 10,000 pine trees in exchange for the trees uprooted and balled to give way for the new mall in Baguio. Alam niyo naman yung SM Baguio, no? Controversial yan. Nung tinatayo pa lang yan, marami na nagrarally, nagpoprotesta. Kasi puputulin daw nila ang napakaraming pine trees dun sa bundok na yon at para lang maitayo yung mall. Ang sabi naman ng SM, Magtatanim naman kami ng 10,000 na pine trees kapalit ng mga puputulin namin. So huwag kayong mag-alala. So with this kind of situation, what type of research is necessary and what is the application? Okay? Answer these two questions in the comment section below. Okay? And I will see you in the final video lecture number 5. See you around.